Three, two, one. Hello, welcome to Background Noise. This is a podcast hosted by two best friends who love to talk. My name is Kaysee, and my co-host is Eric. And today we'll be talking about a game that we love. We're going to talk about one of our obsessions.
Of the life.
So
Sims is literally, it's in the name. It's a life simulator. You create people, you live their life. And the game's been around since 2000. The one we play the most, the one that we play together is Sims 4. And it's like a life simulation game. So it's like your sim.
It's like playing house, kind of.
It's literally like playing house, but way more fun.
Yeah.
And all sorts of crazy things happen.
A life for somebody.
Mm-hmm. You can build houses, build everything.
Decorate.
Yeah, decorate, which
love.
Is super fun. But yeah, so it's a simulation life game.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to tell you the story of what my sim is going through. Like her life.
Yeah.
So she was born into the world as a young adult. And her aspiration is to become a best-selling author or novelist or something.
Yeah.
Which she's on her way to do. She's getting there. And she was working in business, and she started at $16 an hour or something. Got up to 37 or something, I don't know.
Dang.
Dollars an hour.
Which in Sims, dollars are called simoleons, just so you know.
Yeah. And so she met a guy named Jake.
Mm-hmm.
And
did you say what her name was?
I don't think I did. Her name's Jacob.
Jacob.
What's her last name?
Unimportant.
Jacob something.
But the reason her name is Jacob is because Kaysee designed her and was like, what should I name her? And I was like, please name her Jacob. That would be so funny.
Yeah, and
it's actually a really cute name.
It's actually kind of a really cute girl's name.
That's what I meant, not for guy.
But
not cute for a guy. It's just a normal guy name.
Yeah. So her name's Jacob. She's a young adult and she wants to be a best-selling author. She works at a business. Mm-hmm. And she was getting so lonely.
Oh.
Well, she was living on her own, and it's this one-bedroom place. And I'm kind of figuring the game out. And there's dust bunnies everywhere. And I'm like, why is the house so dirty? I had to buy a vacuum. I had to buy a stupid vacuum to vacuum the house. And then these gnomes came, and I kicked them, and then they destroyed my house, breaking everything. And I had to appease them, and then they were giving me gifts. And then I'm just getting promoted in my job, and then I'm going out because she's getting so lonely, and I meet this guy named Jake. Mm-hmm. So Jacob and Jake. And so Jake is a slob. Literally got the trash out of the garbage can, dumped it on the ground.
And left.
And I'm like, why is he doing that?
Who does that? That is actually Joe.
That is Joe. And so they're boyfriend and girlfriend at this point. And they move in together.
Because he messaged her and was like, hey, do you want to move
in
together?
Yeah, he asked me. He's like, I feel like we're ready to move in together. And I was like, yeah. And so obviously I needed to get that money. Just kidding. We move into an apartment. And we're living in the apartment, and, I find out that he has a roommate named Edmund, and he's, making $115 an hour.
That's insane.
And at first I was like, I need to kick this guy out. What the heck?
Right.
Nasty.
Yeah, why would you invite somebody? You're like, hey, I know you're my girlfriend, but
you want to move in with my roommate and me? No, that's weird. I feel like...
You move in with me.
Yeah. But, he was the breadwinner, making the dough. So I was like, I'm not going to
kick him out.
And then he starts having a midlife crisis, ruining everything.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I start doing these things.
Old. Not old. They're not old.
They are
a lot older than she is.
Yeah, because she's a young adult and they're adults. So
they're halfway into their adult life.
So they're 40-something.
Yeah, in Sims, it doesn't give a specific age number, 40 years old or 25 years old. It goes newborn, infant, toddler, child, teen, young adult, elder.
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 And so, yeah, they're quite a bit older than she is. And
because I would guess
at
they're
this
probably
point,
around 40.
Yeah, 40-ish. And at this point, I'm like...
She's like 21.
Yeah, she's like 20-something. And me playing her, I'm like, I don't like Jake. He's just getting on my nerves. And he's always energetic at night. Like, go to sleep. And he's, like, dead tired, too. His needs, dead tired. And he's so energetic. And I'm, like, clicking the bed and telling him to sleep. Won't go to sleep.
Because he wants to exercise or do something energetically.
Yeah, and that's stupid.
Yeah, who does that?
Anyway, he was just so annoying.
I've definitely gotten...
Not good looking at all. Bleach blonde hair.
Yeah, like
platinum.
Like,
not good.
Not platinum.
Not good.
Like, as if he didn't use toner.
Honestly.
Cheese hair.
Yeah, cheese hair. And, so Edmund, I start doing his midlife crisis stuff.
Yeah, because when they get a midlife crisis, it gives you things that if you do them, their midlife crisis will go away. Start going away.
Yeah.
So it's things like all sorts of things. Go into what yours was.
It was like romance stuff.
Yeah, he
needed to have casual dating and stuff. And so I meet this lady, and she's married, and she's like instantly falling for Edmund. And so I have them, like, she's cheating. Nancy, she's cheating on her husband with Edmund, and then they're like, and she's like, we should move in.
Yeah, right when.
Well, he convinces her to leave her marriage. And then
she goes home, and immediately when she gets home, texts her, "You should move in with me."
Yeah,
she texts him, "You should move in with me."
Yeah, and so Edmund, being in my household, Jacob's household, obviously we all moved him over. We're rich now.
Yeah,
freaking rich, like $160,000.
In their bank. Yeah, insane.
Yeah. And so instantly I move Edmund and Nancy out of the house.
Yeah, because jail.
Yeah, because why would she live with her ex-husband? She is a cheater, not good.
Yeah.
And Edmund played a part in it, so
Absolutely.
Obviously get him out of the house.
He knew she was married too.
And Nancy's the type of person, she has bad plastic surgery, 1 million pounds of Botox in her face, and she's a horrible mother.
Well, I mean...
That's, like, what I think. Like... Yeah.
That's the arc you created.
Yeah, that's the arc I created.
A lot of it, like the plastic surgery, her character really does look like she had plastic surgery.
Honestly. But,
And then later she got more plastic surgery.
Yeah, she did. And so, they're living off in there, and so in our household, it's Jacob, Jake, the 2 kids, and the dad. Nancy's ex-husband, and his name's Jeffrey. And so I come up, like, obviously, Jacob and Jake are not getting along. He's such a slob, throwing garbage everywhere, and energetic at night, and he's just not good looking. Which, like, in real life, that's not real. But, like, just in this game.
Well, and he's a slob and all these good things.
He's, like, not a good guy.
He didn't want to go to work.
Never wanted to go to work. He's not a good guy. Like, he was not good. He was actually, like, mean before I was making him be mean.
True.
He was not good.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, so I'm like, I don't like this guy. I'm gonna break up. And so, like, the arc I created for him, he's, like, an abusive boyfriend and flirting in front of other girls, in front of Jacob, and
at the bar.
Yeah, at the bar that he took her to on New Year's Eve. And so I had Jacob break up with him.
Great way to end a year.
Honestly, she was so sad. And now she's the nanny for Jeffrey and his kid, for his kids. Well, he has a young adult still living with him, and then a toddler. Yeah. So I'm the nanny for the toddler. So really, he's just taking
care of the toddler. The young adult takes care of himself.
So she doesn't have a job anymore. She's not making $37 an hour.
Because she was a regional manager at a store, right?
She has, like, 8 books out that she's getting royalties for. So she's still getting paid a lot, like, even more.
Yeah, she gets paid, like, $1,000 a day.
Yeah, which is nice. And so, she's still making money, and she's the nanny. And the toddler loves her. Like, she's, like, her surrogate mom.
That's so cute.
Yeah. And the young adult, he's a minor crime lord, and he makes, how much money did he make?
Well, his mom.
It's like $30-something.
Well, first of all, his mom texted him and said, "Hey, I work in the crime. I'm a crime lord.
You know what I
Do you want to
just
be
realized?
one?" What?
They're both crime lords. The dad's a freaking detective.
Oh, scandal in itself.
That's a whole scandal in itself that I just realized. He was married to a minor crime lord. And she asked her.
She's a detective.
As soon as his son became a young adult, she asked him to join her.
Oh my gosh, do you think his dad, he's probably lying to his dad about his job.
Yeah, he probably is. 100%. That's crazy. I just realized that. Sorry.
Oh
But that's
gosh.
crazy.
It's so crazy.
Oh my gosh. But anyway, so she's going to continue being this nanny, and the dad's like, Jeffrey, he's going to see how good she is with
his daughter.
Yeah, Shayna.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just going to love that and see that they are soulmates and they're going to fall in love and maybe they'll have kids. We'll
cute.
see. And maybe she'll go to university. We don't know.
I love that. I think that's so fun.
That's her story. And maybe we'll come back with an update after they're dead and they have kids living on their legacy.
Yeah, we'll just do a whole continual update of this save.
But buckle up because Eric's story is crazy.
It really is. Okay, so my sim that I started with my game is named Betty Sue Goldenheart, which is a random phrase I've just been saying for years for whatever reason.
But like fits are so good.
It really does. But I was like, okay, I want to make her a sim. That would be fun. She's very like kicks the table. Sorry. She's very like fancy and pretty and like must have her hair bleached every week because she cannot have her roots be showing, like that type of person, which is totally fine, but very like
sweet too.
Oh, very sweet, super sweet person, especially as she gets older too. Mm-hmm. She had a wild streak, as you'll see. Mm-hmm. But she's a very sweet person. I like her a lot. Her aspiration was to be a serial romantic. She wanted to date everybody, like 10 Sims. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, honestly.
And so I was like, oh, wow, I love that. I want to do that. That'd be so fun. So she moved into her house that she lived in for like one night. Literally one night, I think, maybe. And she was so broke. She had like $0. And I don't even remember if she had a job to start. I'm pretty sure she didn't. She just went to the bar right away and met like randos like at the bar, just other people, I don't know. And she met this guy named Marcus, who was a young adult also, and she liked him a lot, and they she started flirting with him, and she got so tired and drunk, basically. It's not drunk in The Sims, it's dazed. She got dazed. Mm-hmm. From drinking too many drinks and
juices.
Yeah, too many juices. That's true. I forget it's called juices. She drank too many juices and got dazed. And she was literally like, I can't even explain the face, but it was like so funny. But she like was not there. So like she was about to pass out. So I just sent her home. She slept in her bed for one night and one night only. And then the next day, Marcus was like, hey, you want to go on a date? And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And then so they went on a date. I'm pretty sure they probably made out, honestly.
Yeah, I think so.
And then she met someone named Mortimer Goth. Just like quickly talked to him for just a second. Not very long. I think
in passing.
Yeah, in passing. Like he was also sitting at the bar having a drink, and he kind of just joined their conversation.
And then left immediately.
And left. So they had like the smallest conversation.
Which instantly gives some sort of either positive or negative points.
Exactly.
Like you can, like in my sim has a negative reaction from a person named Ava. Never seen this person in my life.
She probably said something rude when you weren't looking directly at her.
Yeah, probably.
And you just didn't notice.
Probably.
But yeah, so very brief interaction with this guy named Mortimer. So the next day, or maybe even later that day, it might have been.
Yeah, it might have.
They had exchanged numbers, which is interesting in itself. Why would they have exchanged numbers so fast?
Yeah.
Maybe there's like, hey, this was a cool conversation. We should continue it. I don't even know. But they exchanged numbers because he texted her and was like, hey, I have a new outfit I think you'd really like. Like, come over and let me show you. And I was like, oh my gosh, scandalous. And so I was like, okay, absolutely, I will. I'll come over.
Yeah.
And so Betty Sue went over and he was like, look at my outfit. I don't even think he said that. I think he just started flirting with her right
Instantly.
away. I didn't start it.
No, he started
it.
Everything.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so scandal.
But
and
we
then
learned some backstory of why.
Mm-hmm. And then they kissed, and Mortimer apparently has a wife named Bella. And Bella was like watching, like not like watching, but like she walked in the room when it happened and was like, absolutely not. Actually, she didn't say anything.
No, she just like
was like, okay, and left. Like she looked at them and was like, stood there for a minute and was like, okay.
Didn't she like
and
sit
left.
on a chair and watch
She
at
did.
some point?
I think she did because I think she was just being like, okay, that's what you're gonna do. Like it was like, wow.
But we learned why.
But when I was playing with the game more and like learned more of this what was happening, I found out that Bella had already cheated on him with somebody else, and so I believe that's probably why Mortimer cheated on her, because revenge. And so that was crazy. But immediately then Betty Sue convinced Mortimer to leave Bella.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scandalous still on its own. Yeah. Like I said, she had a wild streak. And so he agreed. He's like, yeah, I don't need Bella. Who's that? I don't know her.
Who is she?
Who?
The mother of my kids. Who?
Which it gets even crazier. And then next thing you know is that, I can't remember. No, I think Mortimer said, hey, Betty Sue, you want to move in? Like, let's just move in with me. Yeah. I was like, okay, I moved in. And Bella moved out immediately. In fact, actually, Bella ended up moving into Betty Sue's old house, which is so funny. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious.
When Bella moved out, she ended up buying the house that Betty Sue sold to move to, or put up for sale to go, which is like so ironic.
That's crazy.
I know. But then Betty Sue and Mortimer are like boyfriend and girlfriend, but Betty Sue's boyfriend and girlfriend with Marcus still boyfriend and girlfriend with both. And Betty Sue goes out and goes on a date with Marcus, and they're like immediately kissing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so scandalous. And then all of a sudden she's like not willing to do anything. Like she wouldn't flirt. She wouldn't like talk to him. She like did not want to talk to Marcus. And I was like, what the heck? And it turns out that she doesn't want to flirt with other people because she all of a sudden got the loyal trait, which as you play the game, your Sims gain more traits based off of how they are and who they are. And it's random or based on gameplay. It's all sorts of fun.
Yeah.
But she didn't want that. She wanted to be with Mortimer. So she gained the loyal trait. And so she would not like talk to Marcus. Like if she talked to him, she felt guilty. And then she would be so guilty, she would tell Mortimer. And then Mortimer would be so upset. And now Mortimer, and still does, even though Betty Sue has not cheated since then. Mortimer's still afraid of her cheating.
Yeah, I would
and being
too.
Cheated on. Although he technically got cheated on twice.
Mm-hmm. Well, he probably had the fear from Bella.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. And then it's just like got triggered with like Betty Sue. But Betty Sue, I mean, she cheated, but it was like they like just like kissed one time. That was literally it. Not saying that's like not acceptable. I'm not saying that's acceptable behavior. I'm just saying it's not like something actually insanely scandalous.
Yeah.
But after that, I switched her aspiration to be she wants to find her soulmate, which is Mortimer, and she broke up with Marcus. And Marcus still like texts her every once in a while and was like, hey, I'm dating someone new, just so you know. And I'm like, okay, good to know, weirdo. I'm married. Because she ended up getting married to Mortimer. They had a wedding that didn't go very well. They invited a lot of people. They actually invited They invited Bella, which is
Why?
because Bella really likes Betty Sue. They're like actually dang good friends. But
they're enemies. Not Betty Sue, but Mortimer.
Mortimer and Bella are absolute enemies. They literally fight each other every time. Like physically get in fights.
Fist fights.
They punch each other, and usually Bella wins, which is so funny. Usually, I don't know, I end up like, a lot of times it actually is a tie, which I'm like, why are you fighting to that point?
Honestly.
Freaks. But it's super funny. But what's even interestinger is Mortimer has a daughter named Cassandra and a son named Alexander that's a child. And Cassandra really, really likes Betty Sue. They get along really well. She, like, really likes her, which I think is super cool because now that they're married, it's like her stepmom.
Mm-hmm.
But Mortimer and Betty Sue got pregnant like so fast and was not supposed to happen. They weren't planning on getting pregnant.
But it was like they weren't planning it, but it's a good addition.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, well, she was going to work one day and started throwing up in the morning.
Like instantly knew.
And I was like, oh, I wonder if that was from the food she ate. Because that was totally possible. She had just eaten. Or if it was from, like, that she's pregnant, which is totally possible. And turns out she was pregnant because she came home from work and it told me she was starting her first trimester. And I was like, oh, what? That was crazy. She had her son. His name is Silas Goth, which I think is a cute name. And then
Cassandra also got pregnant.
Yeah, Cassandra also got pregnant.
And Cassandra's Mortimer's daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
so there's 2 kids in the house.
She's still finishing up high school.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. So there's 2 children in the house.
And basically, Betty Sue's taking care of both kids.
Yeah, pretty much.
With the butler, and the butler sucks.
Yeah, they have a butler who's really weird, and she acts so strange. Like, occasionally she'll just be like she'll just look around like a weirdo and think like something's there when it's not. I don't know what that is. I feel like
she's a vampire or something.
Maybe. But she lives in my Sim's house because, like, she's the butler. But yeah, it's actually super scandalous, but it's becoming a lot tamer because Betty Sue is growing up, and
it's hard to take care of toddlers. It was just saying.
Well, they're infants.
Oh yeah,
it's even harder.
And they have blowouts every 5 seconds.
Oh my gosh, they literally keep like pooping their pants like nonstop, like everywhere on them, and I'm like, no, stop! You better stop.
And Mortimer's like sick of kids.
Why?
Because he's like, won't do stuff for the kids, remember?
Oh, my game kept glitching. It wasn't really. It wasn't want Mortimer. To. It was the game glitched, and it wouldn't let them feed the children. But it works now when I restarted the game. But
I was just kidding.
Now
I thought it was funny.
It was funny.
He's like a grandpa and a new dad again.
At the same time, literally, they're a week apart in age. The 2 babies.
That's crazy.
A week.
That is crazy.
Which in Sims is probably about a year, to be honest. If not more.
Yeah, probably.
But that's hard to really tell.
Yeah.
But now Mortimer's having a midlife crisis.
Oh, yeah.
And wants to adventure. Mm-hmm. And wanted to go to all these crazy places and do crazy things. And I'm like, I absolutely am going to do that. So he's been adventuring everywhere and doing wild things.
Yeah.
'Cause he's never done these things before.
It's hilarious.
It's super fun. But yeah, our Sims kind of have the most wildest lives.
It's so much fun to make them have crazy lives because you don't want that like actually happening
in real
life.
Absolutely not. I have the most boring life ever.
And I'm okay with it.
Oh, me too.
I'm okay with my boring life.
I'm not a scandal. I like to play Sims, and it's like, it's really like you're just watching a TV show. Like you're playing like what a TV show would have, which is fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
So crazy lives.
So crazy. Maybe we'll update you with this. Maybe this
not.
won't.
We'll see.
Even end up going out.
I feel like it might. I think it was fun.
It was super fun.
It was fun for me to explain my
It
Sims
was.
life.
Mine's more scandalous
Yours
to the point where I'm like
definitely-
debatable on putting it out.
Yours is definitely more scandalous.
Mine is a lot more scandalous. But so fun, though. It ended up being less scandalous than my original plan, too. Because I was going to do, like, a whole crazy scheme of, like, cheating here and cheating there.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
But, yeah. Hope you enjoyed.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you. See you next time. Thank you for listening to our story about our Sims. We hope you've enjoyed. I'm sure you'll see an update in the future since we have a lot of plans for their lives. And thank you for listening. We really appreciate all of your guys' support. We're always shocked at how many people listen to these. We were never expecting that. And again, thank you. And we will see you next time, which is hopefully very soon. Bye, guys.